Yeah, CAL FIRE, but more with the Forest Service and all these other agencies have positions like this.
Yeah. And so basically, if they're learning these skills that's provided with all the different departments here, they can not only work with our group, because we don't have a lot of work right now because we don't have any land, for one thing, but if they wanted to go to CAL FIRE, Forest Service, State Park, they would have the qualifications to be able to do that by gaining this trainings here right now.
And are you hoping to be able to be to teach them to be parts of strike teams that can get hired on from your fire departments?
Yeah, if they want to do that, it's up to them. We want to create our own department someday, but that's a long ways. Like I say, we don't have land. Once we buy some land and maybe find some better grants, find some kind of way to bring money into the program. Right now, we have a small group called Native Health in Native Hands, and we're basically dependent on grant funding, but it's been helping us a lot.
And how does it help? What does it do?
Well, there's one grant from the Department of Health, California Department of Health, and basically it's under youth and recovery. What's it called? Culture is healing. Right, so there's all these cultural terms now being used. Culture is healing, youth in recovery, and families in recovery. So I can go to Round Valley and I could say, okay, we have this grant to provide any kind of culture. So this last week we took our redwood dugout canoe on the Eel River, and we had like 70 youth from Round Valley, and we rented Six Rivers rafting. Local people brought canoes and kayaks, whatever you could float on, and I'm hoping that we had like 90 people on the river, adults and youth. And so that's the kind of benefits that I want to be able to. Thank you, then be able to provide for youth, and then we have people that we plug into, people like Diana that's helping. The way she talks to our young people about getting into the fire world. It really makes a difference. There's Damon, there's Kai, Diana, all of them have this way of talking. Henry Holbrook has this way of just talking to them, and they're like, hey, there might be something here. So they're hanging on with me because, like I say, we don't have funding for a fire crew per se, but we're just kind of hanging in there, doing this and doing that.
But eventually it could happen where, and even with these qualifications, if they're legitimate, they could be hired to be on crews and that kind of thing. So it's so awesome to see. And Perry talked about employment opportunities. And so one of the things that were happening here in Southern Humboldt is the fire service is becoming both like a paid volunteer type situation in a lot of departments, which is a lifesaver in a big world where you could keep your volunteers even though there's no jobs. Bryceland has a fuels crew. And so there's a core crew of maybe 6 people or 8 people. They work full time doing that and then go to calls. And when they go out on strike team assignments and such as that, they have they get paid really well. So it helps keep people so they don't have to move, like what Perry said, to find other opportunities. And our goals are, and Mom's mother was native but from Hayfork area, and so I've taken my cultural background and really, as I got more older, my effectiveness in the fire service is not where it should be. But working towards the cultural end of the fire service, it makes your heart happy and your whole soul and is connected back to the land in a way that makes sense.
And you have a way of passing things on to the people who...
Yes. And anyway, so yeah, we've double teamed some pretty cool stuff and it's been a lot of fun.
So what do you work on? Is it K-Mud or?